A man's mind may be likened to a garden, which may be intelligently cultivated or allowed to run wild. But whether cultivated or neglected, it must and will bring forth. If no useful seeds are put into it, then an abundance of useless weed seeds will fall therein and will continue to produce their kind. Until thought is linked with purpose, there is no intelligent accomplishment. Aimlessness is a vice, and such drifting must not continue for him who will steer clear of catastrophe and destruction. A man should conceive a legitimate purpose in his heart and set out to accomplish it. He should make this purpose the centralizing point of his thoughts. He should make this purpose his supreme duty. He should devote himself to its attainment, not allowing his thoughts to wander. All that a man achieves and all that he fails to achieve is a direct result of his own thoughts. Individual responsibility must be absolute. A man's weakness and strength, purity and impurity are his own, and not another man's. They are brought about by himself and not by another, and they can only be altered by himself, never by another. His condition is also his own, and not another man's. His suffering and his happiness are evolved from within. As he thinks, so he is. As he continues to think, so he remains. A strong man cannot help a weaker unless that weaker is willing to be helped. And even then, the weak man must become strong of himself. He must by his own efforts develop the strength which he admires in another. None but himself can alter his condition. As a physically weak man can make himself strong by careful and patient training, so the man of weak thoughts can make them strong by exercising himself in right thinking. To put away aimlessness and weakness, and to begin to think with purpose, is to enter the ranks of those strong ones who only recognize failure as one of the pathways to attainment, who make all conditions serve them, and who think strongly, attempt fearlessly, and accomplish masterfully. Having conceived of this purpose, a man should mentally mark out a straight pathway to its achievement, looking neither to the right nor the left. Thoughts of doubt and fear never accomplish anything and never can. They always lead to failure. Purpose, energy, power to do, and all strong thoughts cease when doubt and fear creep in. As a man thinketh, so is he. Thought is the origin and breeding ground of everything that exists. Everything. No matter what it is, it all started with one small thought. So the way you are right now, believe it or not, that's coming from all of the years worth of thoughts that you've been placing in your mind. The power of thought, I can't even begin to speak on the magnitude and the power of thought. Everything is energy based. Thoughts have energies on them. They have energies attached to them. And if you don't harness your thoughts, if you don't intentionally control the thoughts that you allow to creep into your mind, as well as the thoughts that you directly telling yourself, you will never have control of yourself. So what thoughts are you telling yourself? Ask yourself that, because the power of thought, man, is everything. You got greatness within you, King. You have magnetism, you have charisma, you have strength, you have courage, you have the ability to lead. These are all thoughts that you should be telling yourself. These are all thoughts that I told myself. These are all thoughts that I continue to tell myself each and every day. I have the power and ability to change the dynamic of my mind. I have the power and ability to mold and sculpt my body into what I want it to be, as well as my mind, as well as my vocabulary, as well as my ideology, as well as my attitude towards life. I have the power to be the best father that I can be. I have the power to be the best version of a man that I can be, the best leader that I can be. And you got the same in you. You've been blessed with gifts, King. But if you never welcome the thoughts that you are gifted, that you are blessed, that you are highly favored, that you are one of them ones, then you will never begin to produce like you one of them ones. You one of them ones, man. Despite what the world may say, despite of what you have been through, a lot of things are placed in our lives to really detour us and shake our confidence up. And I done been to hell and back. I done been to pretty low points in my life. I done had many opportunities to tell myself that I wasn't that dude. But by me understanding the power of thought, I can't even entertain and begin to fiddle with those type of thoughts. Because I already know the mind is a garden. Whatever you plant in your garden, it must bring forth, it will bring forth. Apples come from apples, corn come from corn. Good thoughts produce good results, good action. Bad thoughts produce bad results. You want to be the best version of you, you can perform the best you can be. Start with the power of your thought. Tell yourself, man, I'm great. I got power. I got God in me. Once you actually begin to realize that and you begin to see who you truly are, you begin to understand the power of your thoughts, certain stuff you won't even allow to enter your mind. I'm not even about to allow that to enter my mind and my temple because the power of thought is so strong. The power of thought can move mountains. The power of thought has built this whole society and civilization that we call home right now. Treat your mind the same way. Treat your thoughts the same way. Be very intentional with the thoughts that you think. Be very intentional with the things that you entertain, the thoughts that you entertain. Be very intentional. Once those seeds plant, they will take root and they will begin to sprout. They will begin to produce and they will begin to bring forth and they will begin to multiply. And then after a while, man, if you done planted the right seeds in your garden with the right thoughts, when it multiplies, you'll be in harvest season. It'll be beneficial to you. You'll be eating, right? You'll be able to feed your family. You'll be able to nurture yourself. You'll be able to provide for others. But if you wasn't intentional with those thoughts and you just allowed a lot of useless weed seeds to plant inside of your garden, when that harvest season come, because it will come, and it's time for those thoughts and those results to multiply, it'll be the exact opposite. You won't have a garden full of fresh produce. You have a garden full of bunk weeds and bunk nonsense. Just tell yourself, man, hey, I'm great. I have magnetism. I have the ability to do whatever I want, whether that be negative or positive. If you're not where you want to be right now physically, stop telling yourself, man, I can't get there. Man, I'm not where I want to be physically. And start telling yourself, man, I can be where I want to be physically. I can get to where I want to be physically. I might not be there right now, but I can get there. To be delayed is to not be denied. You might just be being delayed right now because of your thoughts, because you've programmed your mind into thinking that you couldn't accomplish something. It might not even just be physical. I'm speaking from the physical aspect because that's what I'm talking about. That's my contribution to you. Physical. I put in work to look the way I look, to feel the way I feel. So I can speak on that. But man, everything starts with the power of your thoughts. I would have never got as strong as I've got. I would never be comfortable and happy with myself physically if I didn't begin to think the right things and to begin to think highly of myself. You blessed with the ability to think highly of yourself and view yourself in the image of God. If you're not spiritual or religious, then whatever higher self that you see, you made in that image. You got to begin to embrace that though, King. I'm just here to remind you that you got a crown. If you don't got it on, put it on. If you don't know where it's at, I'm here to help you find it. But I'm here to help remind you that you got a crown. Pick it up and put it on. And if you already wearing your crown, keep it secure. You already know, tilt it, man, swag it out, do what you do. Well, blessings to you, man. We gaining and maintaining. We improving. The power of thought is everything. Don't forget it.